Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers, a hot show on tap today. Andy's got the rundown.
Sam, the mayor of Sparks is also the head of the Truckee Meadows Water Authority. Tony Armstrong joins us this morning to answer some tough questions. And then the new chief of staff for the governor is an old friend. Mike Hillerby is here to tell us about his new job and fill us in on education. Sam?
And coming up on the Pundit panel today, Deidre, Pike, Paul Enos, and Don Gibbons. It's all coming up next on the all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
The Abowed family has an appetite for dialogue. Agree or disagree, have the conversation. All opinions are welcome. Since 1977, Adele's.
Catch a straight, dine at 8. Lucky you. Lucky you. Dance till 1. Have some fun. Lucky you. Lucky you. Taste the shrimp. Have a sip. Try the pool. Play it cool. At the Sienna Hotel Spa Casino. Lucky you.
In business, the key to success is not the quantity of your clients, it's the quality of your clients. Almost all companies will tell you they want more sales, but what they really need are quality customers who pay their bills on time. With Employer Link's client vendor screening program, we provide comprehensive reports regarding the financial performance of your corporate prospects, customers, and vendors. Build your business with great clients and vendors. Call Employer Links today at 883-3733.
If you own a business and want to maximize your company's potential, join the Retail Association of Nevada. Our membership benefits include the Nevada Retail Network Self-Insured Group, providing workers' compensation coverage that can lower your rates. That savings can go directly to your bottom line. We are an effective pro-business organization that lobbies on behalf of our business members. The Retail Association of Nevada, protecting Nevada businesses for 35 years. Call 882-1700 to see what we can do for your organization.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad, political analyst Ande Engleman on No Holds Barred Political Forum. Now, from the News 4 Broadcast Center, here's Sam Shad.
Okay. And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're joined by Tony Armstrong, the mayor of Sparks. Pleasure to have you here, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you for being here, Tony.
Thank you, Andy.
Let me get started off the bat. You also sit as the head of TUMWA, the Truckee Meadows Water Authority.
Yes, the chairman.
Chairman, okay. And there's now been some talk. We had Pete Sfraza on the show last week, and they're talking about some consolidation of authority because evidently it's hard to tell who's in charge of what right now.
In terms of the water, well, you know, there's a lot of talk going on about consolidating TUMWA with Washoe County, and to my knowledge, nobody's going forward with that at all. Truckee Meadows Water Authority is represented by representatives from the Reno City Council, Sparks City Council, and of course the County Commission. So I don't see that happening in the future.
But there is, I have heard from some various developers and so forth, there seems to be confusion, certainly among staff, as to who's in charge of what, and they're getting sort of sent from place to place.
Well, it sort of depends on where you live and who services you. Everybody has water at their house, pretty much. Some people are on wells, personal wells, and some people are on, well, I call them kind of regional wells in those areas. They have water tanks that's provided to them by the county, and that's who bills them for their water. Other people in the cities, mostly the cities, and some of the unincorporated area are serviced by Truckee Meadows Water Authority.
Okay, now there's a talk about bringing water down from Fish Springs for the North Valleys.
Yeah, there's been some talk about that. I know that Lori Williams, our director over there, is looking at that. I'm not sure what it means. Probably that they'll use that water for the North Valleys.
Can I ask you a question about that? You know, a few years ago, that was an importation plan that got very ugly, and it ended when Senator Reid got involved and said the water was not going to come here because we ended up not being able to get an environmental impact statement, and there was concern that we'd be picking up problems from Herlong at the Army Depot there. What's changed that would now allow that water to be able to come here?
Well, first of all, you have people in those valleys that are north of Washoe County, northwest of Washoe County, that do own water rights. The problem is getting the water here. It's very, very expensive. I had a guy call me up probably a month ago and told me he had, 8,000 acre-feet of water rights. Well, that's fine and dandy, but he's having a hard time selling the water rights off the property, which pretty much strips all the water rights off the property, leaves the property that's basically you can't do anything with. You can't do any agricultural with it. You can't build homes. You can't do any of that stuff. The big issue is how big a pipe do they want to build from there, 26 miles approximately, to Washoe County, inside Washoe County, so that the water can actually be used. The question is, who's going to pay for that?
But what about this whole environmental issue that came up years ago and was a major crisis?
Well, you're right.
And has that gone away? Is Senator Reid now prepared to step out of the way and let things move forward?
I wouldn't say that Senator Reid's prepared to step out of the way. I think he's very big on water rights and that sort of thing. He's of course with the TROA. He's been very, very big in the TROA.
What's the TROA?
The Truckee River.
Oh, I'm sorry, the operating agreement. Okay.
And he's just very knowledgeable about that stuff, and he's been absolutely wonderful in terms of putting all this together and preventing things that shouldn't happen.
I think there's new technology is one of the things, Sam, that's going on as far as cleaning up the water. They know more now than they did back then. It's what I've heard. But
well, Andy, that's true. When you deliver that kind of water, I don't know how many acre feet. I think it was like 8 or 10,000 acre feet of water to the Truckee Meadows. Then the delivery system is important. Very, very expensive. Then when it gets here, you have to treat the water. Then you have to disseminate the water to various areas. That's very, very costly. So who wants to pay for that? I don't think Truckee Meadows wants to, but then again, the North Valleys are growing. They need water, and quite frankly, maybe we can, work out a deal where we don't have to go clear out to, say, California border with, or border town with water. So.
Okay, I want to change topics on you. Baseball stadium. Your predecessor, Bruce Breslow, was here a couple of weeks ago and talked about the city being able to put in maybe $3 to $4 million into the baseball stadium. When we've talked to you previously, the city is not flush with cash. Mr. Breslow said, well, there's ways to do it. Are there ways to do it?
There's always ways to get money. I guess you can, rob a bank, you can borrow it, you can do all sorts of things.
I want to write this down. There's always ways to get money.
There's always ways to get money. Now the question is, do we want to take tax increment dollars and supplement the baseball stadium with taxpayers' dollars to the tune of somewhere between $450,000 and $500,000 a year for the next 20 or 30 years? That's the question. Now, they haven't officially come to us and asked us that. I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know if the council is going to approve it. I simply don't know. My guess is the council is a little uncomfortable with that kind of thing. So who knows? I mean, it hasn't come to us yet.
But the people sitting out there in the public, we don't have a lot of time to talk about this, but people sitting out in the public go, $3 to $4 million, $500,000 a year for the foreseeable future. Where does this money come from? I mean, does it just magically appear? I mean, because last year we were looking to raise money for a fire station that got turned down.
Right.
Now you've got a surplus that's going to help pay for that.
Well, that's the, and I don't want anybody going out of here believing that that's going to happen, because that has not been determined. We do have a surplus of money, but that's because we spent a lot of time cutting back, re-engineering, if you will. One of the departments all by itself saved $1.2 million.
Okay. All right, you got 15 seconds to talk about your parade on Saturday, because you asked me if you could do
15
that.
seconds. We have two wonderful people who are going to be the parade marshals, and that's Reno Mayor Bob Cashel and Sparks, or excuse me, not Sparks Mayor.
Maybe one
Las Vegas.
Las Vegas Mayor, Oscar Goodman. And I called both of them and asked them if they would do this, and without hesitation, they said absolutely.
And what time is the parade on Saturday?
The parade starts at 1 o'clock.
Okay, we're out of time. We got to go. We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers. Enough with the commercials here.
Atlantis is cooking up a party. It's every diner's paradise. Toucan Charlie's Buffet and Grill, voted Reno's best buffet by locals year after year. Experience the Mongolian barbecue, new Asian station, and sumptuous exhibition stations filled with fresh entrees, salads, and desserts. Try the Friday night seafood buffet and Sunday champagne brunch. Atlantis.
Would you like to savor a Trento pork chop? Or maybe pasta rags with grilled chicken? Hugo's Tuscan Grill at D'Andrea is a celebration of color, flavor, and freshness. Each dish is created from natural, wholesome foods that is delicious and nutritious. Hugo's is a comfortable restaurant with breathtaking city views. If you enjoy great food and good company, visit us here at Hugo's. It's the best that dining can be. 2900 South D'Andrea Parkway in Sparks.
Welcome to Sushi Club, best sushi in town. The Sushi Club in Independence Square used the best quality products. The sushi is dynamite, and the service is just wonderful.
The Sushi Club is bigger and better. We have 11 sushi chefs on staff, and the service is great.
All your friends will tell you that Sushi Club is the best place for the best sushi.
Come join us for lunch or dinner.
The Sushi Club, 294 East Moana Lane in the Independence Square.
Now that's great sushi.
To experience the royal cuisine of India, you need some serious magic or simply transport yourself to India Garden, right here in Reno, where you'll discover Indian specialties refined over centuries. Sikh kebab, tandoori dishes cooked in our own tandoor oven, biryani specialties, curries, fresh-baked Indian bread, over a dozen vegetarian dishes, even dishes rare to India like dosa, South Indian-style crepes. India Garden off South Virginia near Sports West. We are India.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Ande Engleman.
A frequent guest on this program over the last year has been Mike Hillerby. Now he joins us as the governor's chief of staff. Congratulations on the promotion.
Thank you. Good morning.
It is terrific, Mike. I have some news to break this morning. Today, Senator Ann O'Connell, who chairs the Senate Government Affairs Committee, and Senator Mark Ande, who chairs the Senate Judiciary Committee, along with some other Republican senators, are requesting a bill draft to reconfigure the Board of Regents. Now, what they really want to do is open up a public dialogue of what can we do about the Board of Regents and the university system, because there seem to be no checks and balances on what's going on there. And Mike, you just found out about this from me, so I know you haven't had a chance to talk to the governor, but the legislature produces a bill making some changes as far as the Board of Regents is concerned, and some checks and balances on them. Would the governor sign such a bill, do you think?
Well, obviously we need to see the details, but clearly something needs to be done. I think the governor was supportive of some of the efforts that were talked about in the last session, and said, you know, we've got to do something to make this system work better than it does now.
What's the feelings in the governor's office at this point about the occurrences at the most recent Board of Regents meeting where President Ron Remington was fired and John Cummings was fired?
Well, I think it's sad. I think if you lump all the things that are going on right now together, the double dipping gate, as they're calling it, and really a lot of focus in Southern Nevada on that, things going on with the Clark County Commission, people being indicted, bribery and extortion charges. I think it's all very sad because it's going to continue to undermine people's faith in their government, and it's going to make it much more difficult for all of us to get the kind of jobs done that we should be doing.
The governor's just been elected the vice chairman of the Republican Governors Association. Will that put more of a burden on you? Will he be gone a little bit more because of his duties?
No, he's not big on traveling out of state. There'll be a handful of meetings a year where he'll be gone for a day or two, but that's really it. So not a big change at all. He's has been involved with the National Governors Association and some of the other groups. Typically doesn't go to many of the national meetings. We'll have probably one or two of the RGA meetings here in Nevada over the next year or two, so that'll make things easier.
There was an article in the Las Vegas Review-Journal last week about the governor saying that more money was going to flow to southern Nevada now for transportation needs. Approximately 68% of the money.
I think that was the numbers.
Yeah,
You're right at 70%.
Because 70% of the population is down there, and so he wanted to be fair. But will that mean that we'll be avoiding needs? I mean, if there's needs, roads that are in really bad condition in other parts of the state, will they be neglected because we want to be certain that enough money is going to southern Nevada?
No, we've got sort of two sets of projects. You have maintenance and upkeep kinds of projects, and that funding, we're considered one of the best states in the country in terms of the way we maintain the roads that we have. The question is widening and building new interchanges, extending freeways, those sorts of things. Tremendous needs in southern Nevada for that. So really the formula works pretty well for that in this particular round of bonding with the latest transportation money that we've got. So.
And let's be realistic, Andy. There's still 6,000 people a month moving to Las Vegas, 72,000 people a year. I mean, over a 10-year period, that's 750,000 people. The growth needs down there are just astonishing. I mean, you know, everywhere you look in southern Nevada, there are cranes, and if we don't take care of these problems ahead of time, then we're going to have much, much bigger problems down the road.
And I recognize that. I just wanted to be certain that we weren't going to see other parts of the state neglected.
No, and two of the most expensive projects we have are here in northern Nevada. The I-80 395 Spaghetti Bowl interchange is being fixed, the project in Carson City, and then of course the 580 extension heading south from Reno. So we have some of the largest and most expensive projects going on up here.
And you know that part of the training for the military now is to send people to the Spaghetti Bowl to drive through there on I-80. And it's great training when you're heading off to Afghanistan or to Baghdad. When the governor was on the program just recently, actually it's a couple of months ago now, he said very specifically that he was not going to propose any new taxes, but acknowledging that there was at least a $200 million shortfall. When I asked him about this, he said that his response would be massive cuts. That was his quote. What are you looking at?
Well, nothing specific yet. I think what we want to look at every month are the gaming, the sales tax numbers, how are we doing? And the last 3 or 4 months, as everybody has seen, we've had some pretty good news. Our sales tax numbers are up and are doing well. Gaming numbers are doing fairly well. You need to look in those numbers a little bit. We've got real problems in northern Nevada. Washoe County's down. We've been declining for 3 straight years now, so that's very difficult.
Carson City.
Carson City, all the northern Nevada area. Our unemployment rate is 5%, nationally at 6%, California at 6.6%. So we're doing fairly well. We're creating lots of jobs. But again, you need to look at those numbers a little bit. We still have fewer jobs in the hotel, gaming, leisure sector today than we did before September 11th, 2001.
But that's going to change, though, over the next 2 years with the opening of Guinn resorts and the thousands of hotel rooms are opening up in southern Nevada especially. Don't you expect that those numbers are going to turn around dramatically?
I certainly hope so. You know, that's obviously a good sign. We need people to be back to work. That helps the rest of our budget. It helps with TANF, or welfare as it traditionally was known, and Medicaid. When people are at work and have health insurance benefits, it's a whole lot easier on the state budget. So you're seeing some good signs. If this continues, that helps with that $200 million hole that was built, automatically built in the next budget by some of the spending decisions that were made. So we're a little early yet to tell what that's going to mean.
But you're already starting to look at cuts, is that right, just to be on the safe side?
Well, not specifically, you know, what programs and what line items, but the governor's told the cabinet, guys, you're going to need to, we potentially need to make some tough decisions. Be thinking about, if you have to make those decisions, what do you want to do? Are you going to recommend across the board cuts? You're going to look at specific kinds of things and say we can't run some of the programs with continually cutting them, so do you have to start prioritizing? Okay, no decisions have been made yet.
Okay, we got 15 seconds left. What's the difference between being Deputy Chief of Staff and being Chief of Staff?
More phone calls, more emails, a little more stress, because really the buck kind of stops at you in terms of the last stop before the governor. But it's a great job. I was very privileged and very honored that the governor made that decision.
Any additional perks?
No.
Mike Hillerby, thank you so much for being here. You're welcome anytime. We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers after this.
Before you head to Carson, take care of yourself with a visit to Tamarack Junction. Catch a hot cup of coffee and the morning news on one of our 32 TVs and enjoy the best food in South Reno. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
The Abowed family has an appetite for dialogue. Agree or disagree, have the conversation. All opinions are welcome. Since 1977, Adele's.
Your home is an expression of all things comforting and familiar. For custom storage, you can count on California Closets to provide quality, value, and design integrity. The process is easy, combining your personal style with our organizing expertise. We care about what matters most to you, making your home functional and beautiful. California Closets, simplifying home and life since 1978. Call today for your complimentary design consultation.
When you sign up for Wells Fargo free checking, you get more than free checking. You get the freedom to bank when and where you want. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
Make your daily commute easy with breakfast or lunch at the Tamarack Junction. Enjoy daily specials, super fast service, and South Reno's freshest morning meals. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Ande Engleman.
And on the pundit panel today, Assemblywoman Dawn Gibbons joins us, Paul Enos from the Retail Association of Nevada, and Deidre Pike, who's the news editor of the Reno Newsroom Review. And we just found out that she's also a teacher.
Yes,
up at UNR.
Teaches journalism. Thank goodness somebody's teaching who can spell. We need to clarify that Dawn actually, although she's still fulfilling the role of Assemblywoman, is starting her own public relations firm and isn't going to be running for re-election.
Right.
Dawn, I hear there's going to be a three-way primary, Republican primary for your seat.
Yes, and I think it's wonderful because there's three very competent and qualified women that are running for that seat so far. Now, there may be some other people that run as well, but I'm just excited for them because I think the voters have a great choice to make.
Are you going to make any endorsements?
No, I think the voters are very capable of making their own decision for themselves.
As a consultant, are you going to take any of their campaigns?
No.
Just checking.
It's too hard.
Okay, and are there any other jobs that you might run for in the upcoming election?
Well, nothing that's open now. I considered maybe running for the Senate at some time, but we'll see.
That would be Senator Raggio's seat.
But,
okay.
You know, Senator Raggio is still, you know, he's very much healthy and doing a great job. So.
All right.
Boy, is that politically correct?
Let's talk about your bill.
Okay. Mark Amity and Ann O'Connell, as you heard me say earlier, are requesting a bill today to reconfigure the Board of Regents in order to at least start a public dialogue where we can have some checks and balances. And I think you all heard what Mike Hillerby had to say, that clearly something needs to be done. And Deidre, you're on the spot with this, so if you don't want to take part, that's fine. We'll leave that up to you. Guys, jump in here. What do you think?
Well, something does need to be done. I kind of think it's sad that kind of this Wendell Williams scorched earth policy has affected the Board of Regents now versus the City of Las Vegas. Now it's the Board of Regents. A couple of years ago, Chris Giuliani proposed a bill that the regents be appointed, and I don't know if that went anywhere.
It didn't last time, and I think that's one of the areas that this bill will look at, is maybe have part of them elected and part of them appointed, and vary the mix. Then maybe that would improve an understanding of Nevada's open meeting law, which this body is the worst body in the state when it comes to following that law.
They are accountable, though. I mean, we vote for these people. You know, every 6 years you're supposed to elect one of your
Should the terms of office be shorter?
Well, you know, bottom line is I don't think half the people in the state know what the Board of Regents is. I don't think they have a clue. I don't think they realize how much money is involved here. It's what, the second largest component of the budget, and they have no idea what the Board of Regents does, and that's why you see people running without opposition, and you know, being elected over and over again. And it's a little club that.
Well, sometimes you do see some opposition. I mean, I remember a couple races that were fairly contentious over the years.
Howard Rosenberg.
That's one of them.
And the first time around, but this last time he had no opposition.
Right, that's true. Well, I think what's most disturbing is the Board of Regents going into closed sessions for 16, 17, 18 hours at a time and discussing the public's business. I find that very worrisome, and I can't imagine that they stay on the one subject that they're supposed to on a closed meeting like that.
Well, I'm more disturbed that they come out and fire people without the people being allowed to hear the charges against them.
Personnel hearings aren't subject to the open meeting law.
Yes, but you have to be very specific on it. Very specific.
But the people who are being discussed, like Andy said, should be allowed to defend themselves. I mean, I think that that's the biggest issue there is you have a Board of Regents meeting and they come out and they fire Ron Remington, they fire John Cummings, yet they keep the employee who was accused of being absentee, who was accused of showing up late, who has just been a problem, and a probationary employee.
And they've kept 2 employees that lied on their resumes.
But not everyone on the Regents is supporting these kinds of actions. Howard Rosenberg.
Right, well, it was a 7-6 vote.
Yeah, he questioned the things. I mean, it's not the whole Board of Regents that's
Interestingly enough, it seemed to be the newer Regents that were in favor of doing all of this sleight of hand kind of thing, and whereas the older Regents who'd been on the board for a while were arguing against it.
Well, I think it's time for Mr. Sandoval to have a little class on ethics and the way to abide to the open meeting laws.
Oh, that'll
clearly,
fill up soon.
I don't think.
Do you think we're going to get a transcript of what happened at this meeting revealed to the public?
Well, actually, under the open meeting law, the minutes, the tape of that has to be provided to each person talked about in the meeting, and they are free to make it public if they'd like to.
Okay, we've got about a minute left. I was just kind of curious today. It was announced, at least in the Reno Gazette-Journal, that Chris Alt was now going to become the football coach again and stepping down from being the athletic director at a salary of $300,000 plus another $50,000 in whatever, and 2 cars. This is an awful lot of money for football. Am I wrong?
It's a lot of money.
I love football.
It's a lot of money for football.
I love Chris Alt.
When teachers are teaching at the university for no money at all, and the students are getting short-shrifted by being shoved into huge classes with no one-on-one kind of teaching experience. College freshmen who don't have a teacher.
Paul, you got 5
seconds.
Well,
I think it's a good sign for UNR fans that Chris Alt's coming back because he probably thinks they have a pretty good shot at having a winning record next year.
We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers after this.
It's America's largest historical district, and it's fun for the entire family. Virginia City is where the West comes alive every day, from train rides to gunslingers. Your gang can explore mines and interesting museums, visit historic saloons, and do some great shopping. Virginia City is the ultimate in family entertainment, and it's very affordable. Come up and stay overnight in our hotels, motels, and RV park. Virginia City, the Wild West at its best.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
A lot of big guests coming on next week.
Yes, we're going to have Senator Raggio, and we've got Senator Reed, and even Jim Gibbons.
Jim Gibbons. You'll like that. We'll see you next week.